Thank you to the guides as well for letting me kind of tag along. I kind of invited myself, sort of, kind of. Howdy everybody, welcome back to Sunday Coffee, Guitars and Tones. This is a show where we grab our favorite cup of coffee and just hang out. Today, I'm not going to talk a lot. Lee Anderton is going to talk a lot on this video. So I'm going to be sharing with you my visit to Andertons, which was a few weeks ago, with some people from around the world. Yeah, from Scotland, Germany, and California. Yeah. Colin Scott from over in Scotland, Science of Loud. Henning Pauly. I can't even remember his channel name. It's just bleep bloop, numbers, letters. Yeah, very cool channel, by the way. I was just watching his video about the Vailton Loft pedals. Go and check that out, because I have one of them, and it's an OD1 pedal. It's a copy of the OD1, the Boss OD1 pedal. They're really nicely made pedals. Anyways, so Henning was there, and my buddy Perfecto DeCastro was there as well, who I've been messaging him this week because I needed his help with something, which you will see very, very soon, which is also why I am holding my RG. Yeah. This is actually a real RG, Ibanez RG. Doesn't have the logo on it because I never got around to putting it on. This was a restoration job. I actually bought it completely stripped down. This was my first proper guitar. This is in like the year 2000, I think. I got this. And it came from over in California, actually. Yeah, it was brought over by a friend of mine. Anyways, I have my RG. It's custom 560. It used to have a middle pickup in there, which I filled in. But I have just installed a DiMarzio PAF Pro in the bridge. That might give you a clue as to what I am working on, which you will see very soon. Not soon, very see, like I was just about to say. You will see very soon and hear very soon. I'm doing bleep bloop now. Anyways, been working with the XFX3, which has been absolutely amazing, and dialing in a tone, which I've been wanting to do for a while. Anyways, we're not here for that today. We're here to check out my visit to Andertons. It was really, really cool. And thank you to the guys for letting me go and be the fifth wheel in that whole party. It was really awesome to just go around the store. It's just nice to be in a guitar store, which is that big, which has that much gear and has knowledgeable people there. And obviously, you know, hanging out with Lee as well. He was gracious enough to give us all a tour and then take us out to lunch as well. So Lee, thank you so much. It's so much appreciated. And thank you to the guides as well, to Colin, to Perfecto, and to Henning as well for letting me kind of tag along. I kind of invited myself, sort of, kind of. I did ask, I didn't just turn up. Trust me. But it was quite funny because you'll see four guys basically chasing Lee around the store with the same camera. Yeah, we all had the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. That's the way it goes now. Anyways, I'm just going to play this pretty much unedited. So enjoy it. Have a wonderful, wonderful Sunday, and this was so much fun to do, and I hope you enjoy watching it. All right, enjoy your coffees, and I'll see you next time. But in the meantime, enjoy this. Grab your cup of coffee, by the way. This is a bit of a long one. All right, have a great day. I'll see you later. Enjoy. All right, I'm just about to join a party over there at Andertons. Yeah.
In this and help this brand grow, because it genuinely has got something. But yeah, I think you're right. We'd make, and I'll show you where we have our sort of boutique guitar selection.
Well, you get $2. You have the smaller guy. I mean, you know, what's the deal?
I think if we find something that we really love.
This back here is basically the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 Club. We all have them.
The other thing I think is probably more normal in guitar shops now, but it perhaps historically hasn't been. We encourage anyone to come into Andertons, no matter how young they are, and go, can I try that please? Okay. And go, yes you can. So we don't have, guitars that are difficult to get to and alarm, like with wires going through for alarms. And we have these 4 little private booths here that most days are full. Because we just encourage people. We do go, I love the idea. When I was 13 or 14, obviously I was lucky my dad owned a guitar shop, so I could go in and I can go try the Les Paul please dad, that would all be fine. But that was a massively important part of my guitar playing.
You might play an expensive guitar as a young guitar player and fall in love with it.
Yeah.
When I played guitar for about a year, I played a VHT Pitbull Ultra Lead. Completely impossible, stupid for me at that point, but also impossible to buy. And there was always that one experience made that an ultimate amp for me. Now Freyet's got the new version, and I begged and begged and begged Stephen. I'm like, I have to have that amp. Don't care what it is and what it sounds like, but that was always the dream 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And they will chase that dream.
Then of course we have the most important thing for any guitar player, is a mirror.
That is
flash. How unbelievably cool you look, obviously with whatever guitar it is that you just picked up, because we all really know that
you need to how it looks on you. That's the most important thing.
Every room has a mirror.
Where's the fan?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the guitar dressing room, isn't it?
It is. It's 100%
Absolutely.
I appreciate this kind of thing because I remember going into guitar shops when I was starting out and feeling exceptionally intimidated about asking for anything and then trying to try
I made a video about custom shop arrogance.
Yes.
In the custom shops, you go in and they will judge you based on your appearance whether you are allowed to touch an expensive piece of gear. Especially the relic guitars, you can't touch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Please don't scratch something that's you've already paid $500 extra to have it scratched. Sorry. Things, you keeping well?
Yeah. Good. You keeping well too? See?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you.
The comments under that video were very clear that many people experienced that.
This is my little bit of sanctuary for. So this is where we have our custom shop, and as you mentioned, some of the more exclusive brands we do. We try to fly the European flag a little bit as well. So we do a Danish brand called Hansen. Yeah, I think most.
Now we're talking. Now we're talking. Best band in the world.
Oh, the band. Yes, Mbop.
They have other songs.
But most of it's American, right? So we've got the Fender Gibson PRS, and then some of the less well-known brands like Castellos, Rock and Roll Relics, Shabat, as you mentioned. Bachi is another European brand that we do. So there's some nice guitars in here. Sometimes I always feel like I would probably. I think if I let my heart rule my head, we'd probably invest a bit more in some of those less well-known brands. But from just a pure commercial, who buys what?
Yes.
Really, at this level, so many people are ticking a dream they've had since they were a kid.
Yeah.
If it doesn't say Fender or Gibson or PRS on that stock, it doesn't tick the dream box. So that's, I think, why you see guitar stores so heavily invested in those 3 brands.
How often does it happen where you try out, take a guitar out of the box and say it's not going out there?
Oh, that I keep it? It does happen. Funnily enough, the last time that probably did happen was with a Hansen, and it was a very understated silver Strat. And I saw it in here, and I just picked it up to play it. And I went back to my office, and that little thing in the back of my head was just like, that was really good, go back and play it again. And I did that like 3 or 4 days in a row. And I thought, wow, I haven't it doesn't happen very often. I just, you know, so anyway, so yes. I
So,
get that one.
what do you think grabs you? Like, what causes that itch in the back of your head to be thinking about it?
Oh, I'm the same as you, man. It's like the very first thing is the look, right?
Okay, yeah.
So the look, I almost feel like if you see a guitar that you really love, you're desperate for it to just be good, like just be good enough. Like, don't be something bad about it that puts me off. Just be good enough, because I kind of want to own it. So that's the first thing, and I would say at least 75% of the guitars that I own are just ones that I went, oh my god, that thing looks amazing. That's what I want. And then it's quite difficult, isn't it? I think the tone is something that would be number 3 for me. Like look, feel, then tone. There you go. Because feel, I think, is the magic where there's just something, and you don't even know what it is, but there's something that you just go, and it's different for everybody. So you'll connect to something, and then I won't, and I'll connect to something that you won't. And then I think tonally, that for me, and that's why I think I've got such a passion for amps and pedals, because I think that they are instruments in their own rights. And actually, if I have great tone, or if I feel like I've got great tone, I think that's probably 10% the guitar, 90%. Well, obviously it's 90% the fingers, isn't it? Right. So, but of the remaining 10%, I think most of the great tone is the amp and the pedals you're using and how you've set it. And the guitars add something, but I think most customers are under the impression that the guitar is a much bigger proportion of the tone, whereas for me, I think, you know, in my head, you know, why does Angus Young get his sound and Eric Clapton get his sound and Stevie Ray Vaughan get his sound? And yes, they're all very different kind of players, but I don't think it's necessarily that Stevie's playing a Strat and Angus is playing an SG. I think it's very much about they've got very different amps that they're using.
But the interesting thing is you said 2 different words, and I think for you they're the same, tone and sound. And I do think they're very different.
Okay.
I think sound is what you do on the pedal.
Yeah.
Sound is what you do on the amp.
Yeah.
Sound is frequency response.
Yeah.
Tone is development over time of the note. For me,
So
which is what you do on the finger.
Tone is here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tone is like how fast is it there? What's the transient? What's the attack? What's the frequency content over time? You control tone with your fingers, not sound.
Yeah.
Sound is what happens after it leaves the guitar.
Yeah. I mean, I'm forever just freaked out by how the same artist will sound the same, regardless. You know, Stevie Ray Vaughan, you can go and look at clips of Stevie playing Fenders, Dumbles, Marshalls, Soldanos, all through his career. And he still sounds 98.9% the same in every single video.
But also, when you consider the sound of the player, you're listening for the music that he's producing, not necessarily the sound, the whatever that piece of gear that he's playing sounds like. You're hearing his artistry. You're hearing his notes, his licks.
Yeah.
But I think what we do is we actually dial in everything to sound like us.
Yeah, that's it.
Everything.
So tone is in the head.
So I push it back to the one thing that
absolutely.
I think
Because
my number one, you know, my biggest guitar hero, Eric Clapton, I actually think maybe does go slightly against the grain on that one, because you know, Blues Breaker era is very different to 1980s, 90s, you know, Soldano chorus pedal era through to the more tweed blues era.
Yeah.
So same licks, same guitar player, but actually quite different sounds.
Yeah. But you still recognize him regardless of what amp he plays.
Yeah, he's got. Anyway, so look, then we have another nice room, again with an even bigger mirror for you to pose in front of.
Yeah.
Moses.
That's it.
That's exactly what we need. More guitar shops, please.
Yeah, I know.
What's a big mirror?
Oh, yeah, there's 2 of them.
It's a couple of people.
You can really get power. You get a power stance and
you can have the band in here, kind of thing.
Get the
I've got
profile.
a feeling that these came up. If I remember rightly, none of these are 10 tops, and yet
gorgeous.
on a different day they absolutely should be 10 tops. So these are all surprisingly less than you would think. I was going, what's your feeling? Do you think guitars are expensive? That's a great question. Do you think guitars are expensive?
That's a loaded question,
in
then.
life?
No.
No.
I can spend $200 and make an album, and I probably can't do that with a trumpet or a harp.
Yeah.
Not with a drum kit. In the world of MI, I think guitars are. I mean, a very very expensive guitar. There's a Castadosa, $9,000.
Yeah.
That's probably where a good accordion begins.
Yes.
This is my. I think we're constantly faced with a perception from consumers that, my God, like £5,000, who would pay that? No working professional musician can pay, except of course that every working professional musician you see has got quite expensive guitar stuff, whatever. But yeah, I sit and go, I don't think anything in this room is overpriced. I think what's phenomenal is how cheap you can get a mass-produced Asian guitar for now.
A really good one now as well.
They are ridiculously underpriced, and I just think in life, if I want to take my kids to, a theme park, or let's say you get to a certain point, you want to buy a nice watch, or you want to drive a nice car, or I don't know, you buy look at the price of like an Apple computer if you want to go and buy a laptop. I kind of think to myself, given that I might spend $5,000 on one of these, and then, I don't know, 5 years down the line, it's probably still going to be worth 3.5, maybe.
I spent 16 grand on an Apple computer, which 2 years later was obsolete and is now literally sitting on the floor not doing anything.
Yeah.
And then I spent another 9 grand on the next one.
Yeah.
So this is all not expensive. But you walk into the Thomann tuba room,
Yeah.
5 grand is
The start.
probably where the decent ones start, and you quickly get to 20 and 30 grand. And that's what a tuba player.
When I started playing flute at school, the entry level flute was 400 quid or above, and I remember people being like, "That's how much instruments cost." So when I came to like buying a guitar, I was expecting like entry level guitar being upwards of 400 quid, and being surprised when I could get one for much less. But there's perhaps also perception that there's a working class sort of like rebellious thing about guitar where it should cost nothing.
I think when people bitch about it for, let's say, 5 grand for something like this, what they mean is, I can get something for less that gets me a similar sound and performance.
For sure.
Which with PRS could be the case, yeah?
Yeah. Good guitar player with crap gear, or not crap, but good guitar player with okay cheap gear always sounds better than not very good guitar player with the most expensive gear. So 100%, it's. But I don't know. I think we get bashed over the head a lot in the guitar industry for like, oh my God, how can you charge? Who buys that? I don't know. Go and. Live a little. Go and see how much it costs to buy other things.
Yes.
One of the nicest.
It's not an expensive hobby compared to speedboats and that kind of.
If you want one of the most boutique amps, Friedman, Arredondo, or MK Overdrive, like ridiculously up there, you're at 5 grand.
Yeah.
People spend that on their rims, on their golf.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they literally spend that on their rims. I put new winter tires on my Tesla and got nothing expensive. Like, nothing special, and spent $2,500.
Yeah.
I could have bought a very nice guitar for that.
Well, that's my point, and like I say, it's products like Boss Katana that are just so mind-numbingly incredible value.
We could also not say Boss Katana and say Black Star IDX.
Any of those, yeah, absolutely. And then
Just trying to throw some love to my friends at Black Star.
It's that I think should be celebrated for being amazing, rather than something that's £4,000 or £5,000 being castigated for it.
$249 or $349.
So I'm at the Andertons custom shop room at the moment. Just joined the party with Perfecto, DeCastro, Colin, and also Henning, and we're having a little bit of a tour of Andertons. It's so cool. Let's go join the guys.
And the rest. Paris, maybe. Florida.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're not even there. 2 or 3 days for that kind of money.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
I'd never. But then again, I don't have kids.
You don't
so
have
I
kids.
don't
You don't.
have
You don't know
to.
how much kids cost. Yeah.
So anyway,
It's guitars. Guitar's always a passion project for all of us. I think it's something which, we can say.
I want to do a little poll here. Purely and simply guitars that you personally own, not obviously for any other reason. Between the 5 of us, let's just guess at a number first before we do it, and I'm only going to count guitars that I personally own, obviously not.
Own or paid for?
Yeah, that brings mine down
Because
significantly.
that brings mine down to very comfortable levels.
It probably should be paid for then, shouldn't it? Which will
Because
reduce
we
mine
get
as
guitars
well.
a year in trade.
Yeah.
With that I mean, honestly, guitars that I own.
Well, what do we think then? Between the 5 of us, pick a number.
Can we check if girlfriends and wives are watching?
Redacted.
Yeah,
Guitars that I own, including the stuff for the channel, we're close to 150, 200,000 bucks easily. I have a lot of like boutique. I've got 4 Macmals, 3 Shabbats, and so on and so on. Guitars that I personally bought. The most expensive one I ever bought was 2,200 euro, and that was a modern Eagle 2 worth 6 grand, and I got an artist deal back then.
I just mean the quantity. So cheap guitars can be. Do you think we own?
I kind of know.
Do you think we own more than 80 guitars between the 5 of us?
Oh,
I myself own 80 guitars.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not that it's part of the job. I'm not the average guy. It's part of the gig. We're trying to get rid of them.
Okay, so how many guitars do you own?
I've stopped counting.
It's what, more than 20,
Yeah,
Easily more than 20.
and you're over.
easily.
Easily
We're trying to get rid of them.
just in my studio space,
Yeah.
I've got about 40. I think I've got
40?
just a little low, 40.
And
Yeah, so I do 20 and 30. Yeah.
But I think I have
wow,
over
so
50.
I own the least guitars out of all of you then.
Currently, you own all of
yeah,
these.
exactly.
That's why I say
You have
it's
the
like,
biggest guitar collection of us all, man.
No, that's amazing. I've got about 15 or 16 guitars.
I mean, if Moore sends a GTRS and I make the video and it doesn't make sense to go back to China, I then own it after the video.
Yes.
It's not a guitar that I frequently or ever again pick up with what I have in the studio. So that's sitting in the case and we're trying to sell it. But it's part of the collection until we do that.
The reason I asked that is because I think that's a huge difference to when I first started out in retailing guitars. Like if you were a professional guitar player, you had your main guitar and you had a backup, and that was that's what you had.
Right, yeah.
And if you were learning to play guitar, you had a guitar. Now I just think that the average person, even people who've just been playing for 3 or 4 years have already got 3 or 4 guitars.
Let's go back 20 years when I was making albums, actually working as a musician, making international albums. I'm gonna say 5.
Right.
Satriani, a Gem, a 7-string ELTD, some Tele thing. I think that was it. Actually.
That would be the same for me.
I would love to be able to keep mine just to that.
No, that would be the same for me. When I would be performing and recording, it would be one of each flavor. So there would be a Gibson style, and a Strat, a Tele, a Super Strat.
I had that too. Yeah, for the Les Paul sounds.
Yeah, that way I have all the sounds covered for a recording session.
We'll do each one. What's the best guitar that for you personally? Or maybe your favorite. What's the one?
I've just done this actually.
If we could only have one.
Yeah. If house is burning down and you've got just enough time to run in and save one.
I was actually in that position last year.
Oh
when LA was burning.
LA Fires,
Yeah, and I didn't choose my favorite guitar.
Okay.
I chose my most expensive guitar that I could sell to bring in more money.
In that case,
That's a logical decision.
So we need both. I'm probably more interested in which your favorite is. But what was the one you had to run in and get?
So I have a '63 SG. So I have to.
But your favorite then, though, just your favorite guitar to play every day.
So that's I have 2 answers for that. So one is if I don't want to think and I just want to perform, it would be an Anderson. If I want to create, it would be a Shabbat.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And what about yours, Henning?
It's weird because it never shows up on the channel because the company doesn't really want to work with me. because, you know, they got issues with me. But with all the really nice stuff I have, I want to say the Sully, but honestly, I would grab my Modern Eagle 2.
Right. What was the one you said just before that?
Sully, my Sully guitar.
Okay,
Beautiful guitar.
yeah.
I've got some nice guitars that are amazing, but the Modern Eagle 2 has appeared on many albums, and whether I do a country thing or metal or prog or whatever, it will actually do everything.
Yeah.
But since it's in, that's interesting for these blue ones, since it's nitro, after 20 years now, it's ugly. It was.
But it's beautiful. I love the more guitars get beaten up, the more beautiful.
No, it was a faded blue jean,
Right.
and now it's a faded yellow greenish.
Oh, really?
It's not
I
that
still love
nitro on blue doesn't look nice, but it's got that rosewood neck, and that guitar does every. If I had one guitar in the studio, I know I could do any job with it.
How about yours?
I just did my 5 favorites out.
Okay.
I have over 50 guitars now, so did a video. The one I'd grab first is and this might surprise people, is a Sterling Luke Blueberry Bass. Absolutely love it.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it. I have a couple of custom 24s, PRSs. Absolutely adore those. I actually bought those in the 12 months before I bought the Luke, and I was playing those all the time. Luke turns up and it basically just took over. Just amazing guitar.
Is that
love
whole,
it.
there's a real mythology around because the most Music Man, but particularly the Luke, has got that very narrow sort of nut width, and that actually once you get familiar with that, it's quite difficult to get comfortable on something else again.
The gentle V-neck. It's really nice to play.
I've got a Steve Morse and love the crap out of it.
Yeah.
But again, if I only can pick one, wouldn't be it.
Yeah. What about yours?
Honestly, I think it might be the Gibson Flying V. I got the Blackout V from 2001. It was that Gothic one, and then personalise it, customise it with gold and brass parts. But it's largely a personalisation thing because it's, you know, I can't get another one because that's what it looks like. So it's that, or perhaps the Caprice. I've got a hardtail Caprice Strat from 1980, which, you know,
How about yours?
pretty nice.
Yeah, what would you
Yeah,
pick?
I think if I was forced to play one guitar and that was the only one I could ever play forever and ever again, I suspect I'd get bored of it at some point anyway.
Yeah.
But if I mean, it would be Strats. You know, I've got several Strats, and I've probably don't know. I mean, I've got a custom shop, and you know what? Actually, every single Strat. I've got a custom shop 54 Strat, which is great. I've got a parts caster, which I kind of did when I was about 18, which I really, really love. I've got one of the new Fender Vintage Lux guitars, which I'm probably using in most videos now because it's just a and I've got a Hanson Strat copy. I've got probably 5 Strats, and
I would usually pick an HSS Strat. I just got a Tyler and made a video saying this is probably the perfect guitar for me. Just absolutely love it.
That new Fender Vintage Lux range, the worst name ever, Vintage Lux Deluxe, whatever. But the sort of the one that I think they really, really just went, you know what, we need a guitar that's going to get some of those Sur players to come back over to Fender, and that's what they did.
And then they also went into the Sur price range.
Yeah, absolutely.
Little bit crazy with, I mean, people really hate the pricing on those because essentially they are American Pro. What are they called?
Ultra.
It's an Ultra with really not many changes, and it's a little bit of crackle in and they're $1,000 more.
Yeah.
I have the Tele. It's a solid guitar.
Yeah.
It's not. It does everything that Tele's supposed to do, but it doesn't elevate me. It doesn't inspire as much. I mean, as a Shabbat, but then again, the Shabbat is then twice as much.
Again, yeah. I mean, I probably, you know, we saw that kind of. What's the right word? There were a few people with some raised eyebrows that Fender wanted to get into that sort of 2,500 to 3,000 kind of, and you're right, it is 500 to 1,000 more than an Ultra. But
and tomorrow we'll be at the Fender showroom saying all nice things about those guitars. They're so great and they're really not over. We'll be right up their asses, just to let you know.
I genuinely, that is my go-to video guitar now, and
I can see that.
It's interesting as well with. I think you'll see it's Matthias Isato. I think I mean, I don't know how much of this is, you know, he's doing so much Fender promo at the moment. It's just like
There has to be a reason.
and I don't have any inside information or anything like that. But it's like, and I think it's a guitar like that. I always think with Fender didn't. I could understand where the Sur thing fitted because it was like, you know, Fender did vintage reissues of their guitars brilliantly well, but they always kind of haven't quite hit the mark with that contemporary version of the Strat.
Yeah.
And I just think that is just like bang.
Because the American Ultra is a super good tool, but it doesn't satisfy the Sur player.
In isolation, if you just gave me an Ultra and play it, I've got nothing but good things to say about it.
It does everything that a Strat's supposed to do.
But then when you give me another guitar that doesn't have noiseless pickups on it, I end up going, oh, you know what, maybe I do think I prefer the non-noiseless sound to the noiseless sound. Right. And that was what Ultra Lux went, fine, have the regular pickups, have the nitro finish, but still keep things like the neck carve from the Ultra and the.
But they did the crackle on the nitro and then they painted over it so it doesn't flake off.
Right.
It looks cracked, but it's not.
Right.
It doesn't feel like a guitar that actually is aged. It looks aged, but then they still paint it over it.
Because they don't do any of the actual damage that you would get. It's just.
They're solid tools. All the sounds you expect are there, and they're dependable. That's what I would say. I haven't played the Strat. I asked them if they could send me the HSS because I think that would probably be something I'd drag into videos. But now Tyler's making one, so.
Here's a question for you guys.
Yeah.
How much do you guys modify your guitars? Personalize them and change pickups and stuff like that. I know I do it all the time.
Yeah, all the time. Yeah,
Same here.
Yes. I don't like a stock guitar.
Yeah, zero.
Really?
Almost zero for me. So I had I think there's a journey, right? So if you're still buying relatively affordable guitars, I think 100% chop them up, change things to you. Eventually, I think though, you get to a point where you go, I don't need to buy another guitar unless it's unbelievable. Like if I play it and I go, oh my god, this is amazing. So if I've bought it because I've played it and gone, oh my god, it's unbelievable. Why would I?
Yeah, you wouldn't change it. Yeah.
I also don't know how. If I try to change the pickup, I'm literally frying the electronics.
Gotcha.
But I have an extremely highly skilled luthier, boutique builder, 3 minutes from me, and the deal is any video he needs, he comes to me. Anything I need done on a guitar, I go to him. It's a good deal for me because he never wants any videos. Yeah. So anything I need done, he'll do.
Awesome. I had a Sire S7, which is their sort of 600 or 700 euro Strat, HSS Strat kind of copy. I changed the pickups out for some British-made pickups from a guy called Monty's, and I put a Vega trem system on it, and it's just 50 times better than it was before. And that's so that's sort of 400 euros worth of mods on a 600 euro guitar. I think that's proportionate. That's good. I would struggle to go, why would you spend 3,000 on a guitar and then start to modify it? Like, if you've spent that should be really good.
Every time I did companies ask me,
fingers crossed.
Brands ask me to do pickup videos, and the pickups are $600, like a set of club mounts, which I've done. You would only put them in a 3,000 euro guitar, right? But the pickups that are in there are already good. So the difference in the video isn't really that noticeable. Now, if I put them in a Harley Benton, you'll notice a difference, but who would do that? So I now just say to pickup videos, it doesn't make sense. Because the before and after, where it does make sense, isn't really there. And now I've got all these guitars with other pickups that don't really do much.
Actually, the pickup thing is so hard as well. I think if you go from a really crappy pickup to a really good pickup, even though I think everyone accepts, right? I can hear that. But if you go from something that you thought sounded really good anyway, and then you change it for another set of pickups, and that 1 or 2 hours that your ears haven't heard what the old pickups sound like before you hear them, I don't believe anybody can tell me, honestly,
it kind of
does the new one sound better or not? It
can be, but it depends on the pickup. Like, I have a 1973 Maxon Super 70s, which I've put in a Tokai Explorer. Now, I bought it because it was actually made on the day I was born. Just one of those things. right? But it does sound different from all the other pickups I've had in that guitar, but it's a very specific thing. If I put like an EVH pickup in there or a PAF or something like that, I notice the difference. So in some circumstances I can very much hear the difference, but
It's the vision and chasing a particular sound.
absolutely, completely.
Which is my reason for modifying any guitars, is that I've got a vision, and I'll be the one who buys a guitar specifically to modify it, because I've got a vision, I know what I want, and that's the purpose of buying
And
it.
then you got Glenn who says it makes no difference.
And on that note,
Well, I tell you where nobody mods things, and this is where I think I hear the biggest change in sounds for relatively small amounts of cash, is speakers in amps.
speakers are so
like
important.
Now he sounds like Glenn.
Yeah, it sounds like Glenn.
Well, it's like
you know,
almost nobody buys an amp and changes the speaker in it.
I'm with you on this.
You know,
I'm
and yet
totally with you.
every time I've done it in the studio, I'm just like, oh my god, it's like it's
That's where the frequency response
like
sits.
it's where you're finding
More than an
experience,
amp or a guitar. The frequency response is speaker.
Yeah.
Very little, nothing else, I would say.
And I mean, we've been messing around with those Celestion Alnico Golds recently, and it's a £250, money, not weight, retail price. That's like top of the range for less than what a mid-price boutique overdrive pedal is like that. You know, it's like I think you could put that speaker in any guitar amplifier that you paid up to a couple of $1,000 for, and it would improve it radically.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No,
and
speaker
yet
is everything.
nobody does.
The funny thing with the MK Overdrive, and that's an amp for like over $5,000.
Yeah.
I ran it through IRs, the aux, tried everything, my normal process of going DI, didn't want any of it. Didn't sound great. It only honestly sounded the way that it sounds with the cab that they sent. That's the pairing that amp is made for.
Yeah.
And I've never had that much trouble making an amp sound great with something else, but
Interesting.
with that cab,
Yeah.
dead on.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
And interestingly, that speaker, whether we were messing around with the MK Clean, which is very much in that sort of high headroom, too rocky kind of fit, or the MK Overdrive, which is all about recreating that sort of Cornford MK50 kind of very liquid, gamey kind of sound. The Gold was just like, that's the one in every shootout. It's like, and again, really, you could have a Fender Hot Rod Deluxe and just put a Gold speaker in it, and it would be 3 times better.
Usually I just trust whatever someone builds, but usually, like lately I'm having some trouble. I've got a coffee cabs, latte custom, beautiful cab. Sounds great in the room, miking it, not getting what I want. And then I mix the videos, I'm like, I'm not happy there. They're building me another one, and Zilla is doing one. It's gonna be interesting because they saw a video where I said, I'm miking this cab. It's a cab, not like a New York style cab. Stupid joke. And they comment, oh, we can do this. So Zilla is now working on a custom cab that's all Tolexed, like in New York taxi.
Like a taxi cab.
Like a taxi cab.
Right, gotcha.
New York style cab.
Oh, nice.
just landing that joke for you.
Yeah, thank you.
No, I delayed my reaction.
Thank you.
In all fairness, almost no one calls a taxi a cab outside of New York, do they? So
That's what
It's called an Uber.
They actually ordered like checkered, Tolex. They want to go all out to make it exactly so I can do that joke every time. And they're also building it in a size so that a full-size head fits on top. Because that beautiful Victory cab that I have, you can't put a full-size 100-watt head on it.
it's not wide enough, is it?
I have a lot of these vertical 212s, Rev and whatever, and I can't use them.
Yeah.
Well, to answer your question, Jay, instead of modifying guitars, a more important thing would be a personal setup.
Yeah.
That would make it so much better. Like having the guitar set up to your own playing, because regardless how expensive the guitar is, you might not agree with the setup as it comes out.
It's got to feel right to you, right? So it's kind of like micro millimeters which actually make a difference to how it all feels.
I would have said on that front as well, and we've never really talked about this, but I kind of feel like if you're learning to play the guitar and you're going to put 100 hours worth of practice in over the first year or whatever it works out to be, I actually think you'd get a lot from taking 10 of those hours and just watching videos about how to set your guitar up.
Yeah.
Like it's
Makes it
almost
so much
as
easier.
important, isn't it? I think.
Yeah.
Like to being a good guitar player, you really ought to know how do I not just restring it, but how do I make sure the intonation is okay and the next.
I suck at that big time. I'm very bad at it. Like I don't really know how to set up a guitar.
But speaking of restringing, that's the biggest mod you can do to your
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
One
change the
should
strings.
regularly.
Change the strings, yeah.
But strings are expensive.
That's why we have string endorsements, right?
Yeah. That's the,
Hopefully.
I think it was a guy called Bob Geldof, but he got asked in an interview once, what are your favourite strings? And he just said, whichever ones I got sent for free.
Yeah. That's kind of what I say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But is it expensive? I mean, I'm quite fortunate in that I've never been sucked into the expensive plectrum or expensive string thing. So that like plectrums, 50p plectrums, fine, and strings is only more regular slinky, the $5 set. I've never gone down the $20 strings or the $10 plectrums.
And if I can, NYXL, they're not cheap.
No, NYXL would be a 12 or 13.
Yeah. And now the XS or whatever they're called, they're about 15, I think. Yeah. And picks, I mean, I'm lucky that the nice Dutch people give me these, but they're like €8.
Yeah.
I had to wean myself. I went through this thing where, I mean, look, it's so bad, isn't it? Because we don't pay for all this stuff, right? So, but I suppose I understand that it has a value. And I got into this bad mindset where mentally I was like, oh, I've got to find the good plectrum, otherwise I can't, you know. And I just went, no, Lee, just get some 50p Fender medium plectrums and just get good with them. And so I just kind of did. It didn't take that long, like a week or so of just, and then all of a sudden you just go, you know what?
You can get used to anything. These take some time getting used to because of the edge, which is thicker and sharp.
Yeah.
But I found, especially with these, there is a very sharp attack, especially if you're doing metal, which we all know you do all the time.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when you get into these 7 strings and you tune down and you do the, death metal stuff, which Lee Anderton's known for. There's an attack even at high gain that this is nice, but even in other styles, I've gotten used to these, and now I actually.
There you go.
You don't have
new word.
I think Justin Sandercoat plays those, and they're like the 40, 50.
Or more, yeah?
$35.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know I'm the guitar player in Sleep Tokens, don't you? So,
We
had a
I know you're behind the scenes, right?
I'm just saying, I obviously can't tell you that officially.
8 strings only. Only that string, actually, nothing else.
You know my big spend, which is kind of like it's become a little bit of an obsession over I think about 6 or 7 years, is buying Mollard tubes. I get big bargains, but man, they make a difference in amps.
Yeah.
Especially like Marshall style amps and stuff. You know, I actually put one in a Jet City amp, just in the first position. Mm-hmm. Beforehand, it was like a 2D sound. You put one of those in and it just opens up the whole.
I've never. I can't talk from experience on that front. I've never really. I think I understand the premise that modern. If you go back 50 years, tube production was to a super high standard because they were just used in absolutely everything. Yeah. And now you're sort of clinging on to these last couple of sort of, probably lower quality tube factories that, so I think from talking to the Victory guys, I think they're a little bit more, particularly Martin is a bit like, it's not that old valve's good, new valve's bad.
It just sound different.
It's the old valves consistently good, new valves.
Yeah. Also, it doesn't make sense for us. You need to present stuff that people can buy.
Yeah.
He needs to build stuff that he can continuously build. Exactly. So going down a rabbit hole of really nice tubes for us is pointless because we're in the business of promoting things people can buy.
But it kind of messes with my brain sometimes that I'm holding a 60-year-old tube.
Yeah.
and it's still working, and it's still sounding so good.
Isn't that what we're all completely in the event of nuclear war? It's like the only thing that will work is valve.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's like, you know.
Cockroaches will be around, and the valve ants. Yeah, that's it.
Should we? Yeah, want some lunch? Yeah. Let's go and do lunch.
We're just gonna call it quits here because I don't want it anymore.
Okay, so
Animals at the end.
Our visit to Andertons.
That was so much fun.
You're welcome back.
We're going to lunch. Wow, that was an amazing time hanging out with these guys and also Lee Anderton at Andertons Music Store in Guildford. I haven't been here for a while, but man, it's such a great place, and if you're ever in the vicinity, you should come and check out this store. I'm going to come back and get some stuff. Yeah.